Good morning. We're going to talk to you today a little bit about monetization, money, yes, manifesting, and a lot of other things that we feel are important for a human to sort out or figure out while they are living, you see. We had a little conversation with Dave, and his birthday's coming up, yes? I believe it is October 5th. And he said a comment to us. For some reason, he doesn't usually feel very good on his birthday. And he asked us why that was. And we said to him, well, if you humans really understood that when you enter the earth plane on the day that you arrive, you come with a plan, an idea of what you would like to expand to, what you would like to experience, whether you're remembering it or not as a child, you have it with you when you arrive. And then every year, whether you are consciously aware of it or not, and we would say in Dave's case, he was not, you are going to compare where you are at with the plan that you had when you entered the earth plane, you see. And we would tell you that Dave has expanded quite a bit in all that is, and he doesn't always let himself catch up with it or receive it in form, you see. And we dug around a little bit and snooped around a little bit in him because we want you humans to really understand that each one of you is unique. Each one of you is creating a little bit differently than every other one. And so to put out a mass recording and saying this is exactly how you have to do it would be a little bit false or not quite true because everybody has to know themselves. And for Dave, we would tell you the best way for him to manifest, he would go to Robin and he would say, what do we need? They were running a small business and there were lots of expenses in doing it. And of course, they had their children to worry about. They had their educations to pay for and their shoes that they like to get for Christmas and all of the things that were needed. And Robin would say, well, this is what the boys need. This is what they want. Yes, this is what I'm hoping to provide. And Dave would go out like a working fool. Ha! We'll use that term. We don't mean to call him a fool, sorry, but it sounded good. But he would go out and he would disregard his body. He would work from sunup to sundown with that implanted idea of what they needed and wanted. And he's going to get it for them, you see. And he did. And once he had accomplished that, once the needs were filled and the things were provided that were asked for, then he would feel as though he could manifest pretty well something for himself, but not until that was done first. So now you're getting the idea a little bit about how Dave manifests. And you have to sort out within you, how do you do it? Well, we're going to use all the family members today, yes? Not all, but we use Brad quite a bit, and he doesn't mind, yes? He is on a spiritual path. He is very determined about figuring stuff out, yes? And maybe he's figured this out, maybe he hasn't, but we're going to out him today anyway. But Brad was a very competitive being. And when he started out in his business early on, he worked in an office, and whether he was knowing it or not, the motivation of working around these other beings caused him to compete. Not in a negative way, in a I am everything, and he is. We would tell you it's right thinking that everybody else is that pulls up a chair here today, and I'm going to equal it or exceed it. This is what he did, you see. He competed in his work, and he did very well doing it. And we're not ever going to tell him or anyone else that that's a bad way of doing it. He knew the self. He knew that he's every bit as powerful of anyone else that is around him. And if they're doing it, by God, he's going to do it too, you see. And he went on to do this in other areas of his life. He played a lot of tennis. He played a little bit of pickleball. There are other areas. And he used to tell you that he enjoyed competing. But then all of a sudden, he decided not so much. He didn't like the feeling anymore of competing. So he had changed, you see. Not in a denying way, but through his life experiences that were provided to him, through the competition that he experienced, he decided that he wanted to create differently. And he has the right to do that. He can do it. There's nothing wrong about it, you see. But that's what we really call knowing yourself, really following the morphing you, the changing you, because that can occur too. And now he is seeking different ways of creation, aside from competing. But what we really are trying to get the point across here today is to understand that each one of you is different in the way that you do it. And what we talked to Dave about is oftentimes Dave has the issue of only looking at the monetization compartment of his life. And then we asked Dave, well, how are you in the love category? Pretty good. He has a wife that loves him. He has 2 kids that love him. He has 2 grandchildren that love him. Yes. He has a very full love basket, we would tell you. But he wasn't really giving it the attention and focus that it deserved. And we said to Dave, if you want to break up that problem that you have a little bit of manifesting out of what people need and want, and then allowing yourself to have something, why don't you just focus a little bit more on the love basket, on the thing that is full, on the thing that you're happy about, on the thing that feels satisfying right now, you see. We've told you this in past recordings that you have a lot of baskets in your life, a lot of different compartments. You have finances, you have relationships, you have money, you have health, you have activities. There's so many things that a human is putting effort and energy into, you see. And to be the best manifester at all, you try to get those baskets in balance and get in admiration of as many of them as you can. And so that the ones that are lagging a little bit or not providing you with what it is you are wanting to see or have in manifestation form, that they can ride that wave. Did you know that? We've told you this in past recordings. You don't have to lie to yourself about money if you don't have money, but certainly you can find some place in your life where there is abundance of what you're wanting. Whether it's in your relationship, whether it's in your health, whether it's in your physical beauty, we don't care. Whatever you can find that you can look at, that you're satisfied about, that you love about yourself or another, that works too. Start putting your focus on that. Start getting into balance. You've probably heard the term balance many times before. And some people, they'll wear necklaces around their neck that say balance. They'll wear bracelets that say balance. They'll have posters that say balance. And we don't really know if they know what balance is. We just told you what it is. It's having a recognition of every compartment in your life and how those are all humming together or measuring up together. And the idea of being whole is getting everything in alignment, you see. Everything humming at the same speed or tone. And you don't always have to do that by focusing on the negative or focusing on the one that isn't providing you with what you want to see. But you can be grateful and satisfied with the ones that you have accomplished that in. And let those start to rise and naturally bring up the other compartments to meet them, you see. When you have a compartment that's out of balance, it's probably an aspect or something that was one of your main goals that you came into the earth plane with to work on, you see. And when we say work on, we know how it's going, because generally when you're working on something, it's not going very well. It's actually very stagnated, you see. And so we're giving you a tool right now to work on something without working on something. Go with something that's already working. Put your focus somewhere where you are satisfied, where you can agree that you've done well, where you can agree that you feel full and content and satisfied. We promise you, when you emanate this type of feeling, the universe wants to provide that feeling to you everywhere in your life, not just back in that one area that you are emanating it from. It's reading you, it's feeling you, and it's going to return to you more and more of that feeling. And what better place to give it to you than in a compartment that you're lacking in? Do you get this? When that energy floods into you, it's going to fill up the bucket that needs the water the most. I bet you're feeling kind of hopeful. I bet you're feeling kind of happy right now in the knowing that you can create in all different ways. And that when you are told to know yourself, this is what you are to know. That nobody does it one way. Nobody gets spiritually awakened one way. Everybody has a path. Everybody's got a key. Isn't it fun to be on this journey, on this search for the key that belongs to you? Would you want somebody just to hand the key to you? Well, that wouldn't be very fun at all, or satisfying. There it is again. We love the word satisfying because that is the biggest word to describe why you came here. You want to be satisfied. Think about that. what it feels like to be satisfied, to not need another thing, to feel as though you got everything that you ever dreamt of having. Don't go after it and struggle. Don't go after it in looking at the bucket that is empty. That's not how you're going to fill it. Take a little out of each of the other baskets. Borrow a little energy. And let that be the filler of the basket that needs filling. You see. We want you to know how individualistic you are in the way that you create. And there's nobody doing it wrong. There's nobody doing it right. There's just you knowing yourself. There's just you looking at yourself. Where have I done well and how have I done it? What is it that I have done that has caused this basket to fill up so nicely? You see. And then focus on that. I have great relationships. I have many people in my life. I'm very full in the relationship compartment. I'm very satisfied. What have you done? You've probably loved. You've probably made it an important factor in your life. You've probably given. You've probably been helpful. You've probably contributed a lot more than what you've given your credit to yourself for, you see. And as you love yourself for this basket that is full, and you emanate that out to the universe, it can't really fill a basket that's already full, can it now? It's got to flow somewhere else. It's energy coming to you. Where's it going to go? I'll tell you where it's going to go. It's going to go in that empty basket, and it's going to fill that sucker up. That's what's going to happen. Energy is real. It's flowing. It's fluid. It's like liquid. It has to have somewhere to be compiled. It cannot just flow to you and not be contained by you, you see. So get satisfied someplace in your life so that the universe can flow that liquid energy to you, and it can flow over and fill every other area of your life that's needing to be balanced. Good day.